Come on, let's get it, 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 let's get it. As Juan Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. All right, so before I get into today's Move Swiftly thought, I want to give you some context here. Recording this, the Friday, April 25th, 2025, the morning after the NFL draft. Now, I have been on record, again, as a football guy, man, that commentates on football regularly. I have been on record explaining to you guys, I do not watch that shit. I am against watching it. I don't like it. I think that football at this point has got to go to a feeder system if you want to have any real value in regards to what the game is all about. This NFL draft has turned into nothing but a media circus that is actually doing more harm than good for the game. It's ruining the game, as we saw. All right, so again, I don't watch it. However, I do see the reactions. I do see the hell. I do keep up with the posts and keep up with who went where, seeing that I'm a diehard Michigan fan. And I always like to see the guys, I always like to see when Michigan guys go off to the pros and things like that, because it helps the program, helps recruiting from the the back end, and helps with the recruiting and all that. And myself, well, actually, to be honest with you, the reason that I just said fuck it, I ain't watching. There's a lot of people who are against the draft, but I've gotten to the point where I cannot even watch that bullshit, because my pro team, the team I am, a actual real like between Michigan and the Washington Redskins, I'm a diehard psychotic fan of those two programs, those two franchises. And the Washington Redskins, once they drafted RG3 and how that turned out, I was at that point where I said, I can't even watch shit anymore. It's fucking unwatchable. The takes, the damn media and what they've done, how they ruin kids, how they ruin athletes, how they ruin the game. I can go on for hours and hours about what I dislike about the NFL draft. But again, like I said, I do keep up with who went where, especially if you're talking about a Michigan guy. And I'll just say it now. I'll just put it out there. It's 3 Wolverines in the top 15. That's 3 Wolverines in the top 15. Also, my guy Tyler Warren goes off the board, I believe top 10, or he was in the top 15. And then Abdul Carter, I understand what the story's going to be. All right, all that to say, we know what the headline's going to be. The first damn thing that hit ESPN, the ESPN app this morning when I looked at it was, there we go, Shedeur Sanders not going in the first round. And I haven't heard any takes. I think I saw he posted something. I didn't watch it. I haven't heard anything yet, but we already know what the conversation is going to be. It's going to be, why would the Giants take Jackson Dart, I believe they took, instead of Shedeur Sanders, and all that all of that's going to go on. All right, and I'll just go off by saying this, and then I'll get into today's Move Swiftly thought. When it comes to football, as we saw in the Super Bowl, games are won in the trenches, folks. The games are won up front in the trenches. Your offensive, your defensive line, the guys you got to tighten, and the guys that you got to protect. The quarterback, it's one position. All right, one position. And if you have a daddy that is making you look like you're the damn second coming, or your stats are boosted, understand something that's very true. And Bill Belichick coined this term years ago. He said, stats are for losers, so the scoreboard's for winners, all right? Period, point blank. So there's a lot of you prime sexuals out there that want to throw out Shedeur's stats as if that means a damn thing, or if it's going to make it so an NFL GM is going to forget the fact that he went 12 and I think it was 13 and 12 or 12 and 13. He was barely at 500 or barely around 500 when he played for the weak program that he played for, or I said weak program, but a program that was a whole lot weaker than an SEC or a Big Ten school. Period, point blank. Don't give a shit who his daddy is. Don't give a shit how talented he may be. You don't draft off potential. You draft off the fact who can get you some wins. That's what you got to do. And that's what you just got to understand. And if you have the daddy that's going to be, writing this big check and bragging on his son the way he did, hey, you got to live. You got to live in that space, man. You got to live in that space. At the end of the day, I do think he's going to end up going somewhere. But the truth is just what the truth is, man. So all that to say, and it's crazy because that actually does translate into today's Move Swiftly thought, is the game of football is a special game. And what's really special about this game is the teammates you have. It's not about where you might end up or where you might go, the next phase or anything like that. It's about the teammates and the bond you build with those men in that 3 months. All right. So just yesterday, I was having lunch at a place that I normally have lunch at. It's a Jamaican spot right here in Palm Beach named Top Taste, and I go there frequently. He got great deals there, great lunch special, all that kind of stuff, right? And, you know, I get there, and the guy behind me, I know he looks familiar, right? He looks familiar, but I don't really put two and two because, again, when you're that hungry, you're just trying to get your food, move on, this, that, and the third. So I normally eat at Top Taste. I don't eat in my car or anything like that. I don't usually take it, you know, to the school or anything like that. So I eat there. And then after that, he approached me. He goes, "Hey, bro, did you play football somewhere?" You play football at, like, you were there, right? And then it turned out it was my guy, Milkman, Mr. Miltonian, man. You know, so I was telling, you know, a lot of people who keep all my work know about Anthony because he was on my podcast, and he was one of the guys that I known that was from Florida when I played. But the other one who I actually shared dorms, like shared a room, we were dorm mates. So like it was my room, and then he was next door. We actually drove out to DC together and all that. The other one was actually him, Milton, and his boy Omar. It was me, Sladu, and all four of us. We drove to Maryland that same year when we were at Carson Newman. So it was crazy running into him, and you know he's in the coaching, and we got connected. And you know we're gonna stay in touch, and we'll figure out a way to chop it up at some point for sure. So it was just like when I saw Danny like a year ago, you know, played with him in high school, and we connected, and we were able to catch up and all these things. That's what's really special about this game, guys. That's what's really special. Not where you may end up or what your daddy's saying about you and what your coach is saying about you and all these stupid ass experts on ESPN who talk about the game as if they actually played and actually know what they're talking about. It's about the bond you are building with the men in the locker room, and that's what unfortunately is being taken away. And I'm on a mission to bring that back, bring that essence back of what the game is really meant to be, and not a bunch of political agendas that everybody else likes to push, which is what ultimately is the reason that we see in what we're seeing in the draft is that it's not that Shedeur is not talented. It's the fact that everyone's looking to push some political agenda, and he's just a kid. You know, he's just a kid that is, again, has talent, and he's just doing what was laid out for him. And that's the unfortunate part about the situation is most of these people who push that shit are going to be the ones sitting in the background, not saying anything, or being just finding the next young kid to live their lives through. So that's what you got to understand about this whole game and how it works. All right. So all that being said, main website to check out to dive deeper into all the work I'm doing. It's makeyourmove.com. That's MAKEYAMOVE.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker. Check it out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.